Friday. I decided for a nice Friday treat, I will just show my little lunchtime cooking today. Happened when I was on a run today, and I was like thinking about what I would cook for myself for lunch. I figured I'll just record it because I'm making the same thing I've been making a lot lately, and I'm finally finishing it up. So I'm like tired of like this meal, even though it's a great meal, and that's why I was eating it every day. So I'm gonna make some steamed broccoli. I'm going to heat up this frozen rice that I cook. This is okay. I have frozen brown rice and frozen like wild grain rice, and I wanted the wild grain rice. And some salmon, and this, once you thaw it, you're like locked in, and I didn't really want to eat it, but I have to now. And I'll just do a little cooking segment. When I was a kid, I'm just obviously obsessed with food to a concerning degree, but like I always wanted to like pretend I was on a cooking show. I always would like play with basically like real cooking things and pretend that I was on one. And I'm watching PBS because like no cable here, so watched a lot of PBS. So it was like Masterpiece Theater / Sesame Street / soap operas that were not appropriate for my age. Springer. What was that? Ricky Lake. Oprah. So yeah, I feel like I just got a really nice, well-rounded adult education. Obviously sitcoms, Fresh Prince, Family Matters, Full House. But anyhow, this is always kind of gross because I'm like, okay, I need to like disinfect everything, but patting my salmon dry, and what was I gonna say? So yay cooking. My mom kind of hates cooking. Well, she's like same with me. Like she likes home cooked food. She's very particular, but she also doesn't like to cook that much, and I don't blame her. Like I don't know who likes to cook when they have to do it every day. But my mom had me help her cook when I was really young. I think probably younger than recommended, which is similar to like her having me like kind of stay home alone when I was pretty young, when she would go to work. It's gonna be noisy, so I'm gonna talk loud. But that's why I don't love cooking that much. It feels like I've had to do it so much, and I've always like been in the environment where it's like housewife, like gotta make food again. Like my dad barely cooked. And I would love to not be the cook in the family when I'm married. So I'm gonna pop this rice in a bowl. I just finished doing this like self-evaluation. I haven't even finished it. It's like a fucking journey. I don't know, like they should pay us like extra time and like taking into consideration how much time it is that we time it takes to do these self-evaluations at work. It's like 4 different documents. Each one is like, when I'm done with it, it's like 5 pages long each. They all cover slightly different topics. It's all like, you have to be so thoughtful and reflective and like go through the entire year of work that you've done with a reflection, where you could do better, where like setting the goals for next year. And no one's gonna read it in the same amount of detail that I'm reading it, but God, I haven't spent this much. I just feel like I'm like pouring my heart out, and it's very tiring because I have this weird situation at work. So I have to be extra a little bit extra careful and like thoughtful about what I'm writing. And a lot of it's like, what do you want in a manager? It's like, okay, well, how much time do you have? Like, they're gonna spend 10 minutes reading this, evaluating me, check, whatever. I'm gonna get the standard amount of salary raise that you get every year. And I probably won't even be at this company long enough to get promoted or anything, so just like, do I need to spend this much time on it? But I do, because once I start, I like go through that black hole and I'm in it, and then all of a sudden it's like, this is why you have to do it like not like during a busy day. It's like 2 hours later. I meant to make food a while ago. I burnt my fish, but it's not my fault because it's a thick ass piece of salmon. So every time I make it, sometimes there's like a little bit of rawness in the middle. I should open my door. One sec. Work is just interesting in the last couple hours, so I wanted to say, like, there's like an Asian campaign for Lunar New Year campaign, whatever. We have a company that's very big on holidays for our marketing, and when we do Lunar New Year, I was like, I'll probably be the copywriter on that one, even though I don't usually do holiday work as much. And I'm like not offended by it at all. Like, I would prefer to do it. It's just so much easier. It's like, it makes sense. Like, Asian person, you do Lunar New Year. Latino person, you do the Cinco de Mayo. I think the way I accepted the offer to do Lunar New Year was probably like not that friendly, or like people were probably like, oh, not sure about like asking me, which totally makes sense. But I just thought it was funny. Because I had this there's a new boss guy. He's not technically my boss, but he was asking me about it, and I was just like, yeah, sure. It was like, do you want to do this? I just wanted to see if you were interested, if you had the time. Obviously, I have time. And I was like, sure. I wasn't like, ooh, but like, I was like, yeah, I saw them mention it in the in the Asian channel, because I'm part of the Asian ERG group. And they were asking for like some Asians to like do a gut check of the message, whatever. And I figured, like, I didn't volunteer just because I figured I'd probably be on it. And I did. Do you think that sounded weird to be like, yeah, sure. They were looking for volunteers in this thing, but I figured I'd be on it, so I'm just like, I'll catch it I'll catch it when it comes back around. I think it's just so that it is. It's the truth. So I don't think it's awkward, but I think he was just like wanting to like make sure I didn't feel like typecast or like burdened by it, and so he kind of like did a little explanation a little bit more, which I thought I appreciated, because I feel like on some level it is a test. Like, you're always kind of like testing the waters to see how people react to like certain suggestions and ideas, like, oh, and he at least just showed that he had the awareness to know that like this is kind of a interesting or like kind of loaded decision to make sometimes, or at least like it brushes around the edge of like a loaded decision and conversation. Sorry, my therapist is texting me. I just thought he handled it pretty well. Like, I'm not going to expect like mind-blowing like empathy or anything, or like getting into that conversation. That would also be so awkward. But yeah, I think he handled it really well, and kind of made a nod to like, yeah, we just want to do things right, if that makes sense, which I thought was so cute, because he didn't have to say it that way, and he is like a writer, so you know he's like very good with navigating these things with his words, and I just appreciate it. Like, he's a older white dude who lives in Nashville now, but he did come from the Bay Area, so could have gone either way, and it's definitely a level of tact that I've seen sometimes. Not with race, but like with gender in my team. So I'm a fan. And I think it's like part of me was like, oh, I might have should have been a little more like excitable or just like less transparent. But oh my god, I can't open it. I think these are the ways you get to know people better, to like kind of go out on a limb and kind of broach a topic or share a little bit of your POV and then see if they pick up what you're putting down. So hopefully it wasn't. I just have to ruin this jar lid because it's probably the wrong one. Hopefully it's like. Great. And ultimately it's the anxiety or like whatever over caution is just kind of like, again, being careful to make sure the person, in power, in this case the white person, doesn't feel like they're being accused of something, problematic, and make sure that they feel like okay, that they're not being seen as ignorant. So I think I can just chill about that and let them be themselves. I made a tzatziki sauce with leftover yogurt. The problem is I have so much yogurt. It's like a huge, crazy amount now. I just made it in this container because I only had half left. Because I was like, we ate at this Mediterranean place and it had this great tzatziki sauce. And I was like, wait, I have all those ingredients. Plus, I don't really like sweet yogurt that much. I'm never going to finish this. So I mixed in a bunch of shredded cucumber, lemon juice, dill, dry dill, garlic, just a bunch of salt and a little bit of pepper. Sorry, I haven't put my makeup on or anything, but I have to go. Wow, in 5 minutes. But I'm going to eat some of this at least, for a little while before I check into this like meeting that I was going to. But very hot. Other than salmon, broccoli, and tzatziki, this thing that I was getting out of a jar is like pickles that I was making. But I was trying to make like an Asian style like spicy chili oil pickle. But I had a bell pepper that I put in. I don't like it that much. I should have cooked it in my soup, but now I have all of it. I'm kind of scared it's going to go bad, because it's not like a real pickle where it can stay in the fridge for a long time. See, I kind of burned it. But I think it's more cooked in the middle than it has been before. Very light on salt. Very good with the dip. I would probably do more food eating videos if I get paid, obviously. I'll just eat for another couple minutes before I have to go. Actually, this clock is fast or slow, so I have to go. But everything's great. Not loving the pickles.
Everything else is good. Good combo. Okay. We'll see if I update on the weekend. But if not, have a great weekend. And see you later.